everybody. Welcome in. It is from the Bleachers, broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Welcome into the show, everybody. First day of June, June 1st. Here we go.
June 1st.
We've made it.
Thursday.
Thursday.
June 1st.
Thursday, June 1st.
Crazy.
A little bit.
Crazy that we are into June already. We talked about it the other day, just how fast everything goes. But, man, yeah, June 1st.
Yeah, life moves
Here we
quick.
go.
Life moves quick.
I think Ferris Bueller said that.
Did he?
Sometimes you got to stop and smell the flowers. I can't remember the exact quote, but yeah.
I believe you.
The great Ferris Bueller. You've seen that, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you the quote word for word, but yeah, it's a classic.
Obviously, I can't either.
Which makes me feel not as bad since you can't remember it either.
Yeah.
But we welcome you into the show, everybody. Now today, man, I just feel like once we get into these summer months, we're getting to that point where it's like things are going to start slowing down. But today, that's not necessarily the case because we do have NBA Finals basketball going on tonight. We get game one going on tonight, so that's huge. We're already getting into it all, so that's fun. That's exciting. Right now, MLB's really just kind of in the thick of it as well, which is great. I don't know. There's just something about this time of year where it's like it feels like things slow down, but does it really?
Yeah.
You know, and all of the off-season stuff right now. There's all of the off-season NFL things are going on right now. So they're all doing trainings and whatnot. So there's news that's coming out from those ends as well. So yeah, it just never fully slows down.
Well, and I think it helps too that we have a little bit of content just because, you know, Vegas Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
You know, and not that they're either one of our teams, but a regional team in the NBA Finals with the Denver Nuggets. So that always brings a little home flavor and a little content.
Can I tell you something that I saw the other day?
Yeah.
I saw that, and this is true. I looked up the last time a team from the West won an NBA Finals that wasn't from Texas or California was in 1979.
No, stop it.
And it
that
was
can't be right.
The Seattle Supersonics.
That can't be right.
Think about it. Who's won from the West? The Spurs, the Mavericks,
Lakers,
the
Warriors.
Lakers, the Warriors. Nobody else has.
Nobody else has.
Grizzlies haven't. Pelicans sure haven't. The Jazz sure haven't. The Nuggets haven't even been there.
No Suns.
No Suns. No Timberwolves.
Wow, that is...
No Trailblazers.
That's interesting. Since when?
79
or
something
something
like that.
Oh, my gosh. That is crazy.
So the Nuggets have a chance to break that curse record. I don't know what you want to call it.
California and Texas from the West.
Yeah.
Wow. That's I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. No, it's insane.
I mean, you know, you verbalize it and we start thinking about it, then yeah, you're like, okay, that's about right. I mean, Mavericks and Spurs and Warriors and Lakers.
Yeah, and that's really it.
Wow.
That's really it.
I would not have guessed that.
No.
That's an interesting water cooler talk right there.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting. Yeah, again, I'm pulling up the list of champions, okay? So from the West, it's been most recently. I'm going to go most recently backwards, okay? Warriors, Lakers, Warriors, Spurs, Mavericks, Lakers, Spurs, Lakers, Spurs. By the way, the Rockets in the 90s. I forgot about them. Rockets.
Still Texas, though.
Still Texas. Lakers. This is through the 80s. Lakers. Supersonics in 79.
That was a great decade, the 80s.
So, yeah, there you go. And then Portland won one in 77. So
I don't think I would have. I would have lost big money on that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably would have.
That's interesting.
If you would have asked, if you would have even just said the year, when was the last year? And someone would probably, you think, maybe in the 90s, like the Suns would have done it or something.
Right.
No, didn't happen. Well, hey, speaking of local sports, there's a good possibility that we will be getting a semi-local, and by semi I mean in Vegas.
Mhm.
The potential of the A's moving to Las Vegas, right? It's a lot of big talk recently. Seems like it could be happening, but here's here's something that the owner of the A's said, John Fisher. Okay, here's something that he brought up recently, and I want to know your thoughts on this. I have thoughts on this. I
Okay.
want to know what your thoughts are on this. Okay, so the owner of the A's recently came out saying that he wants to change the normal start time for home games. Normally, home games, the start time will be around like 6 or 7 p.m. local time,
Local
right?
time.
He wants to move it to 4 p.m. The reason being he wants people who are visiting Las Vegas
Mhm.
to be able to go catch a game and then still be able to go catch their shows afterwards.
Mhm.
I have my opinions. Initially, what are your thoughts when you hear that? Good idea or bad idea?
Hearing the explanation, it kind of makes sense because Vegas is a nightlife type of destination.
Yeah.
It would really, we've seen the markups, the drawings, and all that kind of stuff of the stadium. It would really depend on if it is, has a retractable roof. If they can close it and keep the temperature to, a degree that is comfortable watching a baseball game.
Sure.
That would be the only thing that would, not be, if it wasn't climate controlled.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of get that though. I mean, 4:00 game would be over at 6:30, 7:00. Go out to dinner, go to the shows in Las Vegas. It kind of makes sense for Las Vegas.
Here's where I disagree with it.
Okay, I want to hear
Because
this.
I'll tell you that I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay.
The A's are struggling right now at holding down their home fan base, right? The A's need fans. They need to build a fan base in Las Vegas if they want to survive in Las Vegas. Local people don't care about the show.
So you don't want to cater to the guests.
Don't cater to the guests because all you're going to do is then you're going to end up much like when the Chargers play the Raiders. You're going to end up with 70% of the people there to watch the game. They're going to be there for the other team.
Yeah, that's true.
The A's need to focus more on building a brand around Las Vegas so their fans go to their games. And if you're starting a game at 4:00, most people don't get off work till 5, 6 o'clock at night. And by the way, most people don't work on the Strip either. A lot of local Vegas people avoid the Strip.
Yeah, totally. Like the plague.
And what we all know, that the field is going to be built on Las Vegas Boulevard in Tropicana. So it's right there in the middle of everything. So people that get off at 5:00 want some time to be able to get on over to the ballpark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, by the time they get there, the game's over if it starts at 4. So if the A's want to build their fan base, which they have been very bad at doing, they need to be able to start the games later. They need to start games at 7. And also take into consideration the heat factor of it all. If they start games at 7 or even later, maybe even 7:30, closer to 8, then you don't necessarily have to. In maybe the summer months you will have to do indoors, but some of those nights you can crack open the retractable roof or whatever it's going to be, and you can actually have an outdoor game. So I think that there are...
No, that makes sense. That does make sense as well, Caden, for sure.
I think there's pros and cons to both. In my opinion, I think it's better that they just leave it how it's supposed to be. If you ask me. That's what I think.
No, that does make sense. And you hope for the best. Like maybe you can get 80%, 90% capacity in that ballpark. I mean, let's be honest. In Oakland right now, they're getting about 10 to maybe 20% capacity, if that. So if you can get 80, 90% capacity, and then with that percentage, have a 70-30, 70 for your hometown Oakland A's, 30% for visitors. I think that's about where they are with the Raiders.
Yeah.
About a 70-30 split there with home fans. and 30%.
And I don't think anybody's going to argue the fact that it is Las Vegas. It is a destination city. There's still going to be plenty of people showing up, in Las Vegas to watch them play the Royals or the Astros or the Mariners. I mean, people are going to come from wherever to watch their teams play, especially your big teams like Boston and New York and Chicago.
Right.
And, some of those with very large fan bases. Yeah, you're going to have some home games where the fandom might be a little lopsided, but they have to build a home fan base. Because as a player, do you want to have your home field advantage? Yeah, the way baseball works, you always get a home field advantage just because you always have a chance to be the last team at bat, right? That's always going to be there. But you won't necessarily have the fans backing you up. And for the A's, they've already gone too many years without fans backing them up because no one's coming to watch them play. Well, if people are showing up to watch them play, you would hope, if you're a part of that organization, that at least it's your fans that are showing up to watch you play, not the opponents.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So
okay, you swayed me back over.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. I like
it.
That's what I feel. I don't know what local people. I feel like local people would want that. I could see why people coming in would say, "Hey, we would like to go to an earlier game," but it's one of those things where I think that most people would be able to sacrifice one night of shows because baseball itself is a show. That's a show you plan into your Las Vegas
for
trip,
sure.
right? Is, hey, one night we're going to go see the Blue Man Group. The next night we're going to a baseball game. And then the next night we're going to go, right? It's part of the Las Vegas experience.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So that's the way that I see it.
I totally agree.
So looks like we have our guests coming into the studio here in just a little bit with, we got Jason Baum going to be here coming up here shortly after the break. So he's going to be in, which we haven't had him in the show for a while.
It's been a couple weeks. Well, we had state baseball tournament when we were gone, and it's been a busy end of the year.
Yeah. So he's going to be coming in, and usually he brings a little game for us to play.
Yes,
which will be fun. So, well, should we get to that?
Yeah, let's
head
do
to
it.
a break.
Let's
get him on in here, and more when we come back. So stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know. Caden, I have some thoughts here that I want to run by you.
That's scary.
It is.
All right.
Just me having thoughts. Is a
That's
little
the
scary.
thing that's scary. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I found this on the old intraweb. Things that we believed when we were kids.
Okay.
Okay. And a few of these I definitely believe, and I kind of thought some of these were still legit. But anyway, here we go.
Okay.
That cat. Now this one I don't think I ever thought this. This is kind of a weird one. That cats are girls and dogs are boys.
I never believed that.
No, that was weird. Have you heard that
Well,
as a kid?
I had a boy cat and a girl dog, so no.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's weird.
not- for me, I'm like, that wasn't ever a thing.
That if it was raining where I was, it was raining everywhere in the world.
I don't think I thought that.
I don't think I thought that either.
I don't know. I felt like I was a pretty intuitive kid with some of that kind of stuff.
Now, here's one. Here's
Okay.
one. That chocolate milk came from brown cows.
No, I did not.
Not ever?
No. I grew up on Nesquik, so for me, I knew chocolate milk came from powder.
Yeah, that's true.
so for me, I don't know. I wasn't one of those kids who we got it in a jug.
Okay.
Maybe if I got it in a jug, it'd be different.
This is one I know that you thought was true as a kid.
Okay.
Has to be.
Let me see.
That if you ate watermelon seeds, a watermelon would grow inside your stomach. Think back hard.
Well, okay. So, okay.
I think I really believed this at one point.
My dad hates watermelon.
And that's
And
the
if
only
my-
melon that you like.
In growing up, if my dad didn't like a thing, we didn't ever have that thing. The first time I tried watermelon, I was like 15 years old.
So you weren't 6 or 5.
No,
So you didn't.
So because we just never had it because my dad
Yeah.
didn't like it, which is a funny story, by the way. My dad used to like it, and then he got sick one time, and you know what? When
When it makes you sick. Yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, he won't eat it. And so we just never had it growing up because he didn't want it. And
Interesting.
my mom was like, I can live without it. So
I do remember this as a kid, and I really did think that would happen.
I feel like that would have been something I would have.
Yeah.
I will say that is one that I probably would have believed.
Yeah. Now, here's one
Okay.
that you might have to Google just to see if it really isn't true.
Okay.
No, that turning the inside car lights on was illegal.
Oh, I did think that.
Yeah. I think everybody did.
Yeah. Well, because your parents are like, don't do that.
Don't
We're going
do
to
that.
get pulled over.
Yeah. Yeah. All the time.
And really, it was
it's like,
because
dude,
it's annoying.
it's like, Mom, Dad, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, if they can see in, and if we turn the lights on, we're going to get pulled over. It's like, what are you trying to hide?
Yeah. Yeah. Which I understand
I get it,
now.
too. I know.
Because it's like, if the lights are on, you just can't
And it
see as well.
Puts the glare.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. I totally remember this. That ripping off a tag on a mattress meant you were going to federal prison.
It does say this does say that it's against the law to rip off the tag.
Why?
Honestly, I don't know. Does it have something to do with resale?
I have no clue.
Yeah. I've never ripped a tag off of a mattress. Yeah.
This
Just
one
in case.
Now
by the way.
this one
just in case I've never ripped one off.
you've never ripped them
Yeah.
off.
No.
Now this one's just kind of funny. My grandma told me the rumble strips on the side of the road were to help blind people maintain their lane. And this person said, I believed her until I was 10.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I hadn't heard that one, but that is a good one.
I haven't either. There were a couple others in here that were that don't drink and drive meant all drinks. I don't ever remember thinking that at all.
No. No.
Here's one that's kind of in our business. The songs played on the radio were being played live each time they came on for a song early in the morning.
Like the bands hop into the studio and that's funny.
I assume they got out of bed to play it if it was on early. So I don't think I ever thought that.
No.
That's kind of stupid.
I will say though, being in the world of radio, all of the magic of radio is lost to me.
No question about it.
Because there's a lot of things in our business where we have to try to streamline as much as we can sometimes. And so there's a lot of magic that's lost on me. But I don't know. We still try to keep the magic going.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
It's fun.
Absolutely. I remember I'm going to tell this quick story because it is kind of funny.
Okay.
And it is about the radio magic.
Yeah.
I was doing a show on Coney Country, afternoon show. Actually, it was a holiday. I was filling in on like a Memorial Day or Labor
Something
Day
like that,
or whatever. And I pre-recorded it as we do some of our shows.
Yeah, every so often.
Every now and then. And I'm driving around. I have this really good friend of mine, and he is an avid Coney Country listener. Okay. And my wife and I were up, the Wendy's on Boulevard, 1000 East, and we were up at that Tropical Smoothie just north of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Well, he sees me, and at
he
that
sees
time,
that you're also on the radio.
yes, and he goes, at that time, I was actually on the radio, and I was actually doing I remember this vividly. I was doing the Coney Country weather report, okay?
Okay.
And he looks at me, and he points at the radio. He looks back up at me, and I just start laughing, and he texts me, and I'm like, dude, I'm actually doing it from my phone.
You just are like, I'm on my phone. I'm broadcasting from the car.
Exactly. That's what, And I let him believe that for a little bit. Now, we're talking about a grown man in his mid to late 40s, and I'm telling him that I'm doing it from my phone in my truck.
That's pretty great.
And he believed it until the next time we went golfing, and I had to.
I think you're like, hey,
had to give it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty funny stuff though.
That's way funny. Yeah, I've had similar experiences. Just because again, world of radio.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. That's how it works.
Hey, so, Jason Baum has joined us.
Let me get your mic on there, Jason.
Yeah, let him get his mic. You got him on?
We're on.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, he turned you on.
I'm here.
He turned you on.
And I've got answers for you, by the way. The reason why the tag is on there is because literally people will stuff like nasty stuff inside of mattresses. They'll take like the good stuff out, put nasty stuff in there. So it's actually for the manufacturers. If a manufacturer removes that, they can go to federal prison because they used to tear the cut them open, take all the good stuff out, and put like
drugs.
Well, not just drugs, but just they would replace the good foam with like nasty rehash foam or whatever.
Really?
And then sell the mattresses brand new. But it wasn't. They'd pulled all the good stuff out of it.
So the tag isn't really for us.
No, it's not for the consumer. It's for the industry. So if you're if you work for a mattress place, if you remove one of those tags, then you work for a mattress store, you can go to federal prison.
See, Baum dropping knowledge on us.
Boom. Knowledge bomb.
Boom.
No, that's a knowledge bomb. Is right. Now, hey, but seriously, so you heard this as you were coming in. Thank you for listening. Did you ever think that chocolate milk came from brown cows?
I didn't, because I can remember thinking that if strawberry milk didn't come from strawberries.
Yeah,
so,
strawberry milk too. God, that was some good stuff back then.
Yeah.
I do remember this. Remember potato bugs?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Everybody. I can remember thinking that potato bugs must taste like potatoes. Right?
Oh, I never thought that.
I did not think that.
Me neither. Did you eat some?
Oh yeah. Come on. What kid didn't eat a potato bug?
I did not eat a potato bug.
I never ate a potato bug. Jason Baum.
You guys didn't grow up, on the. Yeah, I was Spanish Fork. Come on, everybody.
Well, I didn't call them potato bugs necessarily. I called them roly-poly bugs. So I guess it's just.
I grew up in Ivans. I mean, come on.
There you go.
How about this one? The watermelon seeds.
That grew
when you ate them. Yeah, I totally believe that when I was a kid.
I can remember literally getting like, I think I accidentally swallowed. So I do remember.
I do remember that too.
Some of those.
And then
ones.
turning on the inside car lights was illegal.
I can be honest and say I had never even thought about it.
Really? My parents always told me that.
Yeah, I can remember my parents like freaking out if the lights were,
Yeah.
Why are you turning the lights on? I can't find my, But I mean, we go back to the day, Mark. I remember riding around in my parents' car, and my grandparents actually had one of those big cars that had the big back window, and we used to ride in that space in the back window.
Yeah,
like we'd go, I'll pile in, and like two of us kids would be stuffed in that back window. And
I remember actually going to Southern California, and my dad. We always had a truck in the family, and back then trucks weren't 4 doors like they are now.
No.
Just a single cab truck.
Yep.
And we had a camper shell.
Yep.
Me and my sister going all the way down to Southern California, we would be in the back of the truck in the camper shell. Now there would be some blankets and pillows and stuff like that where we had a little bit of comfort. But I remember, my dad would accelerate and we would kind of go to the back of the truck and he'd brake and we would move to the front of the truck.
Yep, and I can remember them. They had that. I remember the first time they had those slide windows.
Oh,
in the back when they'd slide that open so they could actually talk to us.
Yes,
and we'd go to the place where they'd check for the fruit.
Yes, absolutely.
And they'd always tell us to be really quiet.
Yes,
they're like, okay, be really quiet.
Well, and the reason why we used to take the truck down all the time is because my dad would actually, what is it when you take alcohol across state lines?
Illegal.
No, moonshine. No, moonshining. Is that what it is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't alcohol, but it was glass bottles of Mountain Dew. Like back in the 80s and 90s, you couldn't buy a glass bottle in California. And my Uncle Jim, that's the only way he'd like to drink his Mountain Dew. And so my dad would buy cases of it up here, and we would actually haul it down to California. Just the glass bottles, Mountain Dew. No moonshine, just Mountain Dew and glass bottles.
See, this will date me as far as Disneyland going down to California, because that's what the trip was, right? Is they used to actually have a campground next to it, and you'd go stay in your camper or whatever right next to, and it was an orange grove. And and the oranges were just nasty. Like they had almost no juice in it. My grandpa would get up, and I'll bet he'd have to squeeze 50, 60 oranges to get a glass. I mean, they were just those. But I can remember that was the first time I actually had fresh squeezed orange juice was at Disneyland.
Right.
That dates you. Because now all those are, it's now park and hotels and so forth. But you couldn't find a place to park a camper in Disneyland. So anyway,
good times.
I old school with you, Mark.
Yep.
I'm a little bit there. I did do the riding in the back of the truck with the camper shell on. I did do that.
Yeah, but that's mostly because where you grew up.
Yeah, I grew up in a small town.
Well, Jason, before we get into your moment in sports, give us just an elevator pitch on the home market right now. Jason Baum with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Oh, man, it's so funny. Right now, Congress is fighting about the debt ceiling. And so what we've been watching for the last 2 weeks is rates just climb. We haven't seen rates this high since back in September of last year. So we've just kind of been watching that. Now, they finally have kind of said, okay, we think we're going to settle that ceiling. So rates have been coming down slowly.
Okay.
But the good news is we do anticipate rates. All the experts feel like by the end of the summer that we should be in the low sixes, high fives.
Okay.
Which is great news where we want to be. We want to see, rates continue to come down. Now, here's my advice. I can't stress this enough, and we've talked about this on the show multiple times, but I just really can't stress it enough. Buy now, because right now you have got a lot of people who are not in the market because they're waiting for rates to come down.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, but you can renegotiate your rate. You know what you can't renegotiate?
The price that you bought your home for.
That's right. And so when all these people are sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the rates. When those rates come down and they all hit the market, right now you go make an offer on a home. You might be one of maybe 2, maybe 3 people that put an offer on a home.
Mm-hmm.
You wait till the end of summer or even midsummer, and you might be one of 10 or 12. Well, what is that going to do to the price of the home?
It's going to bidding war.
Push it up. It's a bidding war. We're going to have prices go up. And so if you are waiting, here's the thing. I can't even stress it enough. Buy now because you can't renegotiate that price.
Yeah.
Once you're in, like I said, I'll keep an eye on your rate for you. That's part of what I do. I tell people I'm your lender for life. I don't ever want you to go anywhere else. I want to be the guy you come to and say, you know what, I really need some advice. And like I said, I spend more of my phone calls are people who just need advice rather than they're coming to me for business. Right. So just let me help you get that, but let me help you understand that because it's happening. And then, just a call out to those first-time home buyers. There's multiple first-time home buyer programs. The reason why the government is pushing some of these things, and we've heard things like the LLPAs, and there's all this stuff out there, but it's all designed to help first-time home buyers. So there are more first-time home buyer programs right now in the market than I've ever seen. There's just all kinds of them. There's 1% down. There's no down. There's, where they'll do a grant program and help you get some down. There's all kinds of programs. Now, with that being said, make sure you talk to your lender because there's some really bad ones. There are some first-time home buyer programs that just aren't really good loans. So you've got to have somebody who understands them, that does their homework, understands what they're getting into. But if you're considering buying a home for the first time, if you never bought, or maybe you've been in your home for a while and you just don't know the game, give me a call. Let me help you out.
And I will tell you, I speak from experience. I had Jason Baum actually help my wife and I with the refinance, and it went just seamless, so smooth. Didn't even know we were really doing it until we went into the title company and signed the paperwork, and it was done.
Yeah,
it was that easy.
It's awesome.
So,
we've got great investor programs. There's all kinds of things going on right now. But if you're interested, do you want to know more? Give me a call, 801-592-9387. Or better yet, just go to baumloans.com. That's BAUMLOANS.com. There you go. How's that?
Love it.
Easy enough.
Okay.
Easy enough.
You guys ready to play sports, and let's find out what your knowledge is?
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
And I got to be honest, I'm usually pretty prepared. I have stuff highlighted. I'm ready to go. But life got my way today, so I am catching up. So,
it happens.
Yeah, we're going to do since we had the hockey playoffs and all that going on. There's not a bigger, when we call it the bomb sports moment, big moments in sports. There's really not one that's bigger than the Miracle on Ice. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the Miracle on Ice.
Let's see.
I've seen the movie. Have you seen the movie?
Knowledge.
Miracle's great.
Miracle is a great movie.
Great movie.
I haven't seen it for a few years.
I haven't seen it in a decade.
Yeah.
So we're going to test your knowledge on some of that.
Oh my goodness.
Great. Yeah, this is going to be horrible.
There's some great stuff out there on the Miracle on Ice. So let's start with kind of a fun one. Do you know what the original first hockey pucks were made out of?
I'm going to say it was something weird like a horse hoof.
I'm just going to go wood.
Okay. They were actually frozen manure.
Oh, man. Hey,
Really?
animal related. I got, it's something.
They were originally frozen manure.
Okay.
Was the original hockey pucks.
All right.
Okay.
They got to do something.
You don't get any credit for that, Caden.
Come on.
How about this?
I at least had an animal based. Does that count for something?
Average hockey game, how many hockey pucks do they use?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We use one basketball, right? They go through multiple footballs at a football game.
Probably 30 or 40 baseballs.
Yeah, I'm going to guess let's say 8.
Oh, that's a good guess. I'm going to go lower, though. I'm going to go 4 to 5. I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go 12 to 15.
The average game goes through 12 pucks.
Really?
Yeah.
12 pucks per game.
Is that because they're hitting them above the
they
above
shoot
the
them
glass?
above the glass quite often, yeah.
And, there's...
I didn't think it happened that much, though.
It happens pretty often.
Wow. Okay.
12 pucks, that's the average. So
okay.
There's, I can remember going to hockey games when I was a kid, and man, there was a whole lot more than that because it was really bad hockey.
Oh, yeah, right.
I've been to enough hockey games to know that it happens pretty regularly,
Yeah. And now they've gotten really protective of it because people.
Well, behind where the goal is on the short side of the ice, there's obviously they have their glass, but then above that they have a big old net. So usually where they're shooting, it's pretty well protected.
Okay, so let's talk about the Miracle on Ice. First of all, let's start with an easy one. What year was the Miracle on Ice?
Ooh.
No, hold on. Let me think about this.
I
believe it was
I'm going to say 86.
No, it's earlier than that.
Was it earlier than that?
Remember,
1980.
Olympics, it's so
1980 is what I'm
4
going
years.
with.
1980 is correct.
Okay, it is 80.
1980. So,
Good job, Mark.
Thank you. It's my generation.
Yeah,
It's
there you go.
My decade.
they talk about on the broadcast that there was really only one quote unquote movie star in the house at the time, and they didn't actually even say his name because he was that big of a star. Think about 1980, number one show on TV at the time. Take a guess of who you think that star might be.
Oh my gosh, there's so many great shows running through my head right now, like All in the Family.
The number one show.
Number one
1980.
1980. I'm gonna say Alan Alda.
Very good.
With
That
MASH.
is a great guess. He was a member of MASH.
Oh, but he was a member of MASH.
He was a member of MASH.
It's got to
That is-
be Colonel
no, it was-
Potter.
It was actually Jamie Farr.
Jamie Farr,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
I
he was
never
the
would've
only
guessed
star.
that.
And they showed him for about 20 seconds, but they never actually even said his name because at the time he was such a big star, everybody just knew who Jamie Farr was.
Yeah.
And so
Okay,
Jamie
so
Farr
hey,
was
I got the
quote-unquote-
movie, got
Yeah,
the show
you
at
got the
least, not the
show.
movie, but the show.
that is
Yeah.
that's
I
impressive.
would have never guessed that.
Really?
I mean, I know MASH, but
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So and now this next one, I got to find the numbers on it because it's pretty impressive. So the we all know what first of all that game, okay, was for which medal?
That was to play for the gold medal game. That wasn't the gold
like the
medal game.
semifinal
Yeah, it was
game,
the
yeah.
semis.
That is correct. That is
Yeah.
correct. So which medal did Russia then take?
Bronze.
Bronze or
That is
yeah.
correct. They did win
Yeah.
the bronze medal game.
Yep.
And that was of course America went on to beat Finland
Mhm.
and won the gold.
Right.
Okay. Was that America's first gold in hockey?
I'm gonna say, I think
would-
it was.
I would
but
think so too.
I'm gonna say yes.
I'll say yes too.
I don't like you're asking the question, which means
I know
it kind
it
of
makes me
means
second guess.
yeah,
it,
no
but-
kidding. But I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The answer is no. They had actually won the gold 20 years prior in 1960.
Oh,
And,
really?
Never would have guessed
that was considered a upset
Okay.
as well. But they did win it in 1960. Do you know who was a part of that team that also participated with the 1980 team?
Oh, really?
Wow, 20-year gap. They would have been a youngster then in the 60s, huh?
Or was he a player on both?
No.
Or could
Oh,
have been
so
a
it was
coach.
Yeah, so a coach.
So it was Brooks.
I don't know.
It was
No.
Brooks, the coach.
Oh, it was.
Okay. And he was the last player cut from the 1960 team.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
Interesting.
he actually didn't play on the Olympic team. He was the last player cut
Yeah.
from the Olympic team, and he was the last one. Now, after that game, and I'm trying to find the statistics, the Russians got really ticked off and put together kind of the all-star team that went on. And I believe, and if I can find the numbers, it's just an amazing. They went something like 178, 2-1.
The team that USA beat?
Well, the Russians.
The Russians, right.
After the
after that.
after the 1960s. So they dominated. Now, U.S. and Russia, okay, and this is in the movie, played 2 weeks before the gold medal game. Do you remember what the score of that game was, or can you guess?
I think it was a blowout.
In hockey terms,
In
I'm gonna go
hockey
like
terms, yeah.
6-1.
I was going to say 7-1.
it was 10-4.
Okay.
And
That's a high score.
and the 4 goals that the U.S. got, they really only considered one of those earned. The 3 were kind of in junk time or whatever.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Now, the game itself has a couple of unique things that happen to it. Okay, Russia had what they considered to be the most dominant goalie in the game. So much so that the American players actually feared him. Like they were like, if he's on his game, we have zero chance to win. Okay, he was pulled with 1 second to go in the first half. Do you know why
First
he
period?
was pulled? Yes, in the first period. Sorry.
Performance.
I do
enhancing
not know.
drugs. I have no idea.
Okay, so the reason why
don't
is
know.
it was a face-off, and the Russian coach didn't think it was worth worrying about, and they were up 2-1 at this point. It was a face-off, and the Americans actually scored with 1 second left in that face-off to the backup goalie. The Russian coach was so angry that they gave up that goal, he benched the best goalie in the world at the time. He benched him for the rest of the game.
Even though he wasn't in?
Even though he wasn't in, and he wasn't on the ice when they gave up that goal. He benched him the rest of the game.
So he's sitting there on the bench being like, it wasn't even my fault. Why are you benching me?
Yeah, he got benched.
Because I was gone.
And that inspired the American team. When they come out and saw, they kept thinking he was going to come back in, but that gave them confidence. They all, to a man, said when they saw that the goalie was not there, and it was their backup goalie, that gave every one of them confidence that they could actually win it. And because they come out of there at 2-2 tie, and so he was pulled. That was his main reason. Now let's talk about Al Michaels. Okay, Al Michaels had called how many hockey games prior to the Miracle on Ice game?
For some reason, I want to say this was his first hockey game.
It was his first. He'd called one other game, and it was Russia against some Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
And it was about 2 years before.
Oh, okay.
And it was basically he was watching it on like a broadcast and calling it for the English speaking audience.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Do you know why they gave the hockey game, the Miracle on Ice game, to Al Michaels?
I don't know why.
Probably just my guess is because
nobody else wanted to do it.
Yeah,
that is exactly right.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
He got the job because they couldn't find anybody else willing to do it.
And now it's a moment in history. You hear that all the time. That call from Al Michaels.
I mean, he is Al Michaels that we know today because of that call. I mean, it really. I mean, you think about it, and the information I read, they asked Al Michaels how much time he spent practicing, do you believe in miracles and that? He says, I had never even thought about it. And he says, when it started to look like this could actually happen, he says, the thing that just kept going is this is a miracle, this is a miracle, this is a miracle.
Yeah.
And he says, I just kept thinking it over and over in my head. That this was
interesting.
The most, and so he says when it happened, it was completely spontaneous because in my mind I just kept thinking this is a miracle. I can't believe this. I'm here to witness a miracle, and that. Now, the other kind of crazy fact, and this I don't know how to put this in a trivia question, but live or the game was actually not live for the U.S. audience.
Which in the 80s, that was actually pretty common with most sports. Yeah.
And so there was only one audience that had it live. Do you know which audience that was?
Russia?
I'm going to say Russia.
No,
really?
Canada.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, Canada makes sense. It's their biggest sport in the world. So.
And it was up in Canada. So
yeah,
it was Canada. So a little bit of the
Canada
northern states teams might have got a little bit live, but it was on tape delay, and they were really upset about it. They actually offered a bunch of money, at the time, $125,000 to try to move the game. But the Russians wouldn't let them because that would have moved the game from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock Russia time.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to play at 4 o'clock Russia time, which I don't know. I'm sure there's some reasoning in there somewhere, but it had some very interesting information. So, I found the numbers here. So after they lost, they went 175, 40, and 44, making the 1980 victory that much bigger because they obviously dominated.
Yeah.
Now, Herb Brooks used to try to inspire and try to help the team not feel so intimidated, would make fun of one of the Russian players and said he looked like a famous comedy duel, one of the two people in a famous comedy duel from the 20s. Do you have any idea who that might be?
Abbott and Costello.
No.
Abbott and Costello were later.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, they were?
I'm pretty sure. Weren't they a little bit later? Like
the Two Stooges.
It was Laurel and Hardy.
Laurel and Hardy.
Laurel and Hardy.
And that's I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
But that's the Russian that they
like Stan Laurel.
That's the one. You can't see it on the radio, obviously, but the guy does look a little bit like. But Herb Brooks made that a point because he wanted to break these guys down and get them to realize that these guys weren't Superman because they truly were that dominant that a lot of players just felt like they were unbeatable. And so they just felt like they couldn't do it. Now, the next thing, his calling partner, which is funny because Al Michaels is forever famous for that, right?
Yeah.
But do you know the name of the person who called the game with him?
I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know. I had to look this up. It was Ken Dryden, And he apparently was a very good hockey player. I keep going soccer.
Okay.
Hockey player. What's crazy about that is the day before the game, he drove up to Toronto and passed the bar exam.
Really?
So he's a lawyer now at this point, huh?
So he was a lawyer, and he called that game. Now, the number one player or the number one athlete of the games at that time was I'm trying to find his name, but anyway, the guy who was and I'll try to get the facts on this, but he won 5 medals in track and field. Or not, I'm trying to think of the sport. Anyway, he won 5 medals in, I can't remember the sport, but he was by far the biggest Olympian at the game. He wanted tickets to watch this game. Like, it was what he wanted more than anything.
Yeah.
And they could not get him tickets. So he sat on a box behind Al Michaels and Kendra to make the call. And in the video of them, it shows afterwards, they turn and Michaels gives him a hug because it was so important to him to be at that game. He sat on a box behind them and just with tears running down his cheeks. They said it was he said of that Olympics, it was the highlight. And this is a guy who won 5 golds in that Olympics.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
So
anyway, one of the greatest moments in sports history.
It is, without a doubt. And there's tons of stuff you go through here. I mean, like I said, I was looking at how many of them went on to play in the NHL. Like Herb Brooks never played in the NHL. So there's just some crazy things that went on with this. They talk about there's interesting. They talk about the Soviets actually came out and sang the national anthem, but they didn't know the words. So you can see them start to sing, and then they hum the rest of it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyway,
oh my gosh,
oh man, that's good stuff. Jason, thanks for stopping by.
Oh man, that was my pleasure. I absolutely enjoyed it.
That's
I
a
love
good
it.
one.
That was a really good one. That was awesome. All right, we got to take a break. More coming up next. Stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Welcome back in here to the Findlay Hyundai studio.
Jason Baum still hanging with us as well.
That's right. Oh, Jason, let me get your mic there. Sorry, my bad.
They turned off the mic on me. They didn't want to hear from me.
Caden,
I get in the habit of, turning on only so many mics.
No hot mics.
No hot mic
moments.
moments.
Yeah.
We don't want hot mic moments.
We got those hot mic moments.
And Caden wants to turn you on.
I got you.
So
calm down.
Hey, now, so
that's a whole different
you
show.
guys have both been to baseball games, MLB parks, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, been to a couple.
So you have the ticket. On the back, it says, the ticket holder acknowledges and assumes all risks and dangers associated with being a spectator before, during, and after a baseball game, including all warm-ups, practices, pregame, postgame, and between-inning activities, promotions, and competitions, okay? When you buy a ticket, you're assuming...
You can't sue them is what they're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, listen to this story. So a man, he was attending an Angels game.
Okay.
And...
There's his first mistake.
That's...
I'll turn your mic back off. You watch yourself.
An outfielder, Juan Lagares, actually caught the third out. And, sometimes when they catch the third out, they'll throw the ball up into the stands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he did this. And according to the man who's suing, his name is David Marmelstein. Okay. He's 55 years old. Well, according to him, he threw it with some velocity. Like, he didn't lob it. He just, and I haven't seen the video, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah,
into
apparently,
the crowd, huh?
Apparently he threw a 75, 80 mile per hour fastball into the stands. Okay, which I
doubt that, but
me too.
I would need to see it.
Me too.
Yeah.
But it hit him, like it crushed his eye. He's blind in his left eye due to this. Okay.
Dude should have been paying attention, I guess.
Well, that's true too. Now this is what they say. I understand there's a risk when there's a batted ball, a foul ball, or a home run, but this happened when play was stopped. This is coming from Marmelstein's attorney, Rob Marcereau. Okay. Anytime you get attorneys involved, sure, that kind of thing. But, and even though it states that on the back of the ticket, they're still suing. Do you think he has a case here? I mean, they do kind of have a point. This is when play was stopped, but it doesn't say that on the back of the ticket that says only when play is happening. I mean,
so the dude gets hit in the eye.
Blinds him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. How does he know how fast the dude was throwing it? Because I guarantee he's not paying attention if he's getting hit in the eye. So how can he rightfully say, oh, he threw it too hard? It's like, you weren't paying attention. How do you even know how hard he threw it? And the face is a very sensitive area. Yeah. So you could get hit pretty lightly and still end up probably blinded in your eye. Now, it's tough because, again, when you buy a ticket, you are basically signing a contract saying that if I get injured here, it is not my fault.
If it goes to jury, you just don't know. I mean, because it's crazy because there's that mentality that, they have so much money in baseball.
They'll just settle.
They can pay out. So if you get a jury that's like, yeah, let's give the guy something. He is blind. They're sympathetic to the fact he's blind. They may say, but I mean, on the flip side, should he have a case? No. I mean, the disclaimer's there, it's there for a reason.
Or the Angels, just to let it get away, they'll just settle with it.
Yeah, and realistically, that will happen.
That will probably be what happens.
Probably just say how much for medical bills, we'll pay the medical bills, and
yeah. I mean, that's why they jump in. That's why, again, I hate to say it, but that's why they call lawyers ambulance chasers, because it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. It's really just the accusation of it, and there you go.
Marmelstein was sitting in the outfield bleachers eating peanuts when the former Angels outfielder Lagares caught the third out of the top of the sixth inning. They were
How
hosting
long
the
ago
Royals.
was this?
This is just June 22nd of 2022. This is very recent.
Okay, so last year.
Yeah.
Last year. Interesting.
Went to the game, lost an eye.
Oh, my goodness.
Well,
that's tough.
Bad things can happen, I guess, at baseball games.
Yeah.
So that's
you could watch the Angels play.
Yeah.
Or be a Yankees fan. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen.
Wow. I'm not going to get involved in this.
I'm actually proud of you that you knew that was my team, man.
I remember. I'm disgusted.
I got you. Hey, at least there's no Boston fans. So at least
Yeah,
we're good.
yeah,
That's
well,
true.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow,
I guess
we
so.
just lost a portion of our audience.
Yeah.
They're all sitting there.
I just
Someone's
came here.
in there being like, "Hey."
I'm just a guest. You can still listen.
That's right. All right, we gotta go to break. But hey, you know what, Jason? Again, thanks for stopping in. We love having you and
Thank you
talking
so
a little
much.
hockey and now a little baseball with us.
The bomb moments.
Yeah, got to keep out for those bomb moments, everybody.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Corns for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.